Welcome back. It's What's Your Story here on KTN Home. We are so privileged to be speaking to Mr. Budhabhatti. You realize now that's the name I like.
Oh, you like that?
I like that name. It has so much character in it, you know. So he's the founder, CEO of Craft Silicon and Little, and maybe many others that you're still working on now. Who knows?
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows? You
Yeah.
know, you techie people do not reveal your secrets, huh? At all.
It's not that we don't reveal. I think the thing is that we are very spontaneous. So, as like Little, for example, was never on our roadmap. Never.
Okay.
And one fine morning, something happened and says, here Little is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like that.
Just
How
like
do you identify opportunity? How do you listen or see something and say, this is an opportunity I need to invest in?
I don't know about many other people, but personally, I go a lot on my gut feeling. So when you look around and you say, yeah, this thing I think would work, and you just jump into that.
Yeah.
And when you jump into that, something that I learned from my mother is, people always say have a plan B, but I think what I learned from my mom is that never have a plan B.
Oh.
Never.
Tell me more.
I think what tends to happen is if you have a plan B, and then if plan A becomes a bit tougher, you quickly leave that plan and now jump to B. And then B becomes C and C becomes D, and then at some point it's just gone. So I think, you just make up your mind that this is what you want to do it and just go for it, and ensure that it just works out. I mean, sometimes it doesn't work out, it's okay, you count your losses and life will continue. But from day one, if you say, okay, let me try this, but if this doesn't work, then I'll do this, and if this, then I think that intensity of your work reduces.
So you, for the stick to plan A, to the end.
To the end.
How do you know it's over? If it's not working, how do you know it's over and now you need to find another plan A?
Till you are literally
in pieces.
In pieces.
So what you're saying, Mr. Budhabhatti, is you want us to die first, working on plan A, before we can resurrect ourselves to find another plan A.
Yeah, I mean, believe in your plan and just make it happen. Just make it happen.
How do you overcome those tough seasons when you're working out your dream?
See, as I said, if you start thinking on what we are going to do if this doesn't work, then you always, I personally feel, then you start failing.
Right.
So there are many people, and I'm not saying it's wrong. No. I think that's just how I am.
Yes, that's you.
That's just how I am.
Yeah, I've actually had many people speak like that.
Okay.
Yeah, so you're the first I'm meeting physically, but when I read books, I see people saying, do not have another plan. So that tells me then you're a major risk taker.
Yes, I take a lot of risk.
Oh.
I take risk.
So do you have people in your management team who are always twiddling their thumbs thinking, is he for real?
Yeah, so, when you have a risk taker in the company, you need to have a management behind you who always will have your back.
Yeah.
So they would support you in this, but in case if you fall, then they have the hands to, lift you up. So you must have a cushion team behind.
Okay, I like that, a cushion team. So which other traits should your leaders have for someone to work for your companies? What do you look for?
I like, okay, first of all, when somebody, we look at the passion, when we are interviewing the people, we look at the passion of the person. We don't really need to look at the degrees or the certificates. If I am looking for somebody and he gives me his papers, the last thing I do would look at the papers.
Okay.
Yeah, you just open up a dialogue, you look at what he does, ask a few questions here and there. His way of looking at the world, his way of, looking what's happening around, you can pick up a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
because the skills I think can always be taught, but everything else that comes along with the skills, I think is what we need to have.
Yeah. And also the other day I saw you during this, we had a border crisis a few weeks ago, and I saw you actually got on a bike and you're delivering, you're doing the deliveries yourself.
Yeah.
You and some of your management team.
Okay, so we want to, there is a brand that Little has, and people love Little as a brand. And if you talk to our drivers, you talk to our partners, they really love Little. And we didn't wanted our customers love Little, drivers love Little. We didn't wanted that name to get diluted. So we said, look, there is a problem here, and our customers are ordering food. We don't want them to suffer. Just pick it up. I mean, there's nothing wrong to it, wrong with it. I mean, just go and solve the problem. We'll figure it out, hierarchy later. First, now let's solve the problem.
There's a problem at hand that needs to
Yeah.
be fixed. I think that's quite something.
Yeah, you need to address the problems.
And so yes, I just remembered you're wearing Experience the Next. So you also had an event a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Still to do with Little?
Yes. So Kraft is a very mature company. It's a very structured company now, and sometimes innovation gets suffocated in a very structured organization. Oh. So for us to remain innovative, we thought we wanted to have a company which is smaller, very agile. So that's where Little came in, and now I am now completely focusing on Little. Okay. Obviously, I play a key role in Kraft Silicon, but Kraft, as I said, is so well structured that they don't need me for every small thing. But Little is a small baby, it's growing up, it's still crawling. So I am now focusing on Little. And with Little, we also want to make sure that we go beyond just ride hailing. So Little is now doing quite well in ride hailing, but on ride hailing space, you end up competing with, the other players, which are very large, which are extremely large. Yes. So when you want to compete with a player of that size, there are only two ways I think you can win them. One is you remain innovative, you understand the market and localize the product to what the local consumer needs it.
Right.
With a company that comes from, let's say, US, where we compete with, they have a product and they come and give you the product, while us, we look at what you need it and then fine tune the product and give it to you. Yeah.
So you create the product. You actually
we create the product from scratch. Yeah.
So why call it super app? So what's making it super?
So ride hailing is one we want to do, but we also want to have several other things on the same app. You see, Kenyans, and not just Kenyan, but I think generally Africans and any emerging countries, the hard disk space on the phone memory is a bit lesser. So now if you tell the customer you need to have 10 different apps to do 10 different things, versus you can say you have one app that can do 10 different things, I think that's a better approach for a consumer of an emerging market. So now we have one app called Little, and there you can, if you want to order a taxi, you come there. You want to order food, you come there. You want to order something, you want to movie tickets, you want to do COVID, you want to do payments, everything you come in there. Unlike other players, if you want to order a ride, you have one app. Order a food, something else. Order payment, something else.
App, yeah. So that's what makes it a super app.
That's what's
so innovation at its best.
Yeah, we are hoping, yes.
There's a statement you made that caught my eye, and I guess maybe that's why, I don't know, large corporations miss it. You said innovation suffocates, no, structured organization
suffocates innovation, yes.
I think that is mind-blowing. That is completely mind-blowing. So where a structure is good, but the risk and the danger would be not having the ability to innovate. So it's like, innovation suffers claustrophobia, if I may put it like that. So that doesn't mean, though, that for a company like Little, there are no structures.
No, the structures have to be there, but allow flexibility, allow innovation, allow failures. Because if the failures are not allowed, then people would really fear making decisions which they think might fail or might work out. Yeah.
Understood. So where do you get your belief? You have such a strong belief for Africa and the potential that this continent holds, especially when it comes to technology and innovation. First of all, what is that potential?
I think so Africa, we believe that there is too much potential, and more so because the African consumer, one is it's a young consumer, so it's and they are always in favor of technology. So they are not scared of trying out new things. So anytime you bring in something, especially for Kenyans, like, even if you bring them something and it doesn't work, but they would still have tried out. Now that trying out also helps us to make better products. This is not the case in several other countries. I mean, the developed countries, in some of these things does not really, or it's difficult, I would say. Yeah, but for Africa, I think it's much better.
You feel that it's right for the next,
It
the
is
next,
right
the next?
for it. It's right
Okay.
for it. Yeah.
So what are your next steps?
Next step for us is obviously craft will continue scaling up. Craft currently serves close to about 33 countries. So Africa several, in Asia several. So we want to ensure that craft continues scaling up, but at the same time we also want to make sure that little scales up. And then maybe you never know, some bright idea would come up, and we'll also get into that.
Does it boggle your mind that a program you created 15, 20 years ago is now perhaps being used in 33 countries over several continents? Not just that, but others. Do you sit it like this and wonder, how did this happen?
Yeah, I do wonder.
Yeah?
Yeah, because I think when I started Craft Silicon, it was started just to make sure that I survive. So when I started, there was never really the wildest dream that, we would grow up. But then once we had, from me, we had 10 people, we had a dream from 10 we should grow to 20, and then when we had 20, we said we should have 50. So I think the dream has grown gradually. So it was not something that was overnight planned.
Yes.
And you just went with the flow, making sure that you are fully committed in order to scale up.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like also what you said there. Man, you're dropping some really good insights here. You were creating this program just to survive. Like, the biggest dream or need for your life at that time was to just survive.
Yeah.
There's nothing like 1 year down the line, 5 years down the line, nothing like that.
Yeah, we never had a business plan. So, normally, and I think some of these entrepreneurs, they should just jump into that and then figure it out. Because what happens is, sometimes you want to launch a product or you have this idea, but the first thing you start thinking is, how will this idea make money?
Yes.
That approach, in my view, is not the right approach.
Okay.
You have this idea and you think people are going to like it, go for it. And once the people will start using it, then figure out how we will make money. So making of the money should be a byproduct, not something that you start with.
Wow. Making money should be a byproduct.
Yeah.
Grandchild of a king, you the wisdom is on another level. So about a decade or so ago, when Forbes said this is Kenya's Bill Gates, believe it or not, where was that coming from?
I think, so they visited our offices, they looked at what we are doing, they figured out, that we are really scaling up faster. It's a Kenyan company, it was not the other way around, where you have an Indian company and then now doing business here in Kenya. It was the other way around, a Kenyan company doing business in Africa as well as in India and the others. So that's where I think they gave me that, and yeah, I'm thankful to that. I mean, it was
I also think it has something to do with, a huge honor. I mean, to this day, it still stands. I think it also has something to do with how you paid forward, the wealth that you have accumulated, your companies have accumulated. You haven't just kept it to yourself. You have, and I know you may find this a bit difficult to talk about, but there's ways that you have paid forward in also like helping or assisting others. Could you speak to that?
So in addition to obviously scaling up the company and creating employment opportunities for several Kenyans, we also run Craft Silicon Foundation.
Yes.
So that came in, so what we do is we also wanted to be innovative in terms of foundation. We just didn't wanted to donate money somewhere in schools and other places. So we have this bus. We took up a bus, fitted computers inside the buses. There's a solar panel on the top of the bus. It's a fully internet enabled. And it goes and parks into slum areas. Students walk inside and we give them free computer education. And the policy in the company, in Craft Silicon, is that any country, when it generates certain amount of revenue, it must be followed by Craft Silicon Foundation. So like Uganda was generating a good revenue for us, so now Craft Silicon Foundation is in Uganda. Right. India is generating good revenue for us, so Craft Silicon Foundation we founded in India, and the same concept. Now Ethiopia is generating good revenue for us, so Craft Silicon Foundation is heading there. Yeah, so when you make money, obviously it's also good to give
back, and you've given back in line with your passion, computers, software, technology. So you want to raise the next generation of techies. That's
true. Because I think if everybody is tech savvy, then it also helps.
And that's where the world is going.
Yes,
that is actually where the world is going. So, digital media. And I have to come to obviously my industry, but which is also actually, I think, by a large extent yours. So digital media and where it's going, technology where it's going, is it mutually exclusive, or it's one thing but with different names?
I think there's a lot of overlap and a lot of complementing the both sides, but technology is like become the thread of the fabric. So anything that you want to do now, technology just has to be inside. So now and going in the future, if you don't have to be really a tech savvy person, but you need to get the basics of the tech right. Otherwise, you might be left behind.
Yes. Yeah. How did your company survive this COVID period, this 2-year COVID period?
For us, it was a gold mine.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about it.
You see, when COVID came in and a lot of people started using technology more than what they were using, so our products were used more. For example, customers started adopting the technology much better, much faster, where people used to say, no, this cannot be done, or this we would not let it do. Now they had no choice but to adopt it. So for us, it was a good. Those were, I mean, we are not saying that we didn't really die, but we actually grew in these times, and we continue growing. Yeah. But we are glad that COVID is almost going.
Yes.
Because I think as much as you do meetings online, physical meetings, physical interactions are very important for business.
It's true. Yeah, that one-on-one relationship. What keeps companies, the difference again between Kodak and now our phones are able to do what Kodak does, and how would you describe that problem? What was Kodak's problem?
I think the problem was just not able to understand where the market was moving. But especially in Kodak, the problem was slightly different. They understood where the market was going.
Okay.
But what they did is, if I adopt where the market is going and bring in the products where the market is moving, we would end up making our own business die. So like the technology that you use currently on the phone for photographs and everything, Kodaks were some of the guys who invented that, but then Kodak guy says, no, let's not take this technology out because it would sabotage our existing business of print. So just look, in my view, we just need to adopt the technology and then never, stop one business because of others.
Yeah. And also the value of knowing when to do the shift.
Yes.
Because if that was their own technology and someone else came and grabbed it, man, what a sad story.
I mean, couple of them, even BlackBerry, if you see.
Yes.
BlackBerry used to be like #1 before. When Apple came in, BlackBerry is dead.
Yeah. And it's the same Kodak story again. So the value of innovating and knowing when to shift.
Yeah.
And what kills companies?
What kills companies? I think not able to take care of their people. would kill the companies, not able to see where the world is moving. Yeah, and I think those are some of the things that really need to be taken care of. The business is really changing. It's not no longer one man doing the whole business.
No.
You need everybody with it, because you can't do everything.
Yeah.
So not taking care of your people is a key place where the companies could fail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like that you've said that, because when companies are expanding, you find at times people is on the, it's the last on the list, and then you wonder who's gonna do this work.
Yeah.
Who are you expecting to actually expand this business?
Yeah.
I like that you've said that. So you want to turn your space into the Silicon Valley.
Oh yes. Yeah. We are just very passionate about technology, and we just and I think Kenyans can do it. We just don't have to get the technology from outside. Kenyans are very, very bright, very, very bright. Yeah, so definitely we can.
Yeah, so you're the one we're looking to make Africa the Silicon Valley, Nairobi the Silicon Valley of Africa.
Yeah, it's happening.
It is happening?
It is happening,
When you say that, it means you're working on many things that you do not want to reveal now. Am I right?
Yeah, a lot of things are coming up in pipeline, but you will keep seeing them from time to time.
Yes. Yeah. So how would you encourage aspiring entrepreneurs, even as we wind up, people who have an idea, but they haven't moved? That's one. And because maybe they're stuck, they do not know where else, what else, or even people looking for investment. So where do even people find someone who believes in their dream enough to invest in it?
So, if you have a dream, and then you need to start working on it, and then when you go out and say, yes, I'm going to work on it, then don't come up with your own obstacles saying, I cannot work for it because I have a 9-to-5 job somewhere, so when will I work for it? But I don't have enough savings, how am I going to work for it? So those are, I think, lame excuses. If you have a dream for it, then just go for it and never bring out these problems. The problems will be there everywhere. You just need to make it happen.
Make it happen.
Yeah.
Do you offer like coaching or mentoring, or do you
So this Craft Silicon Foundation.
Yes.
And so Craft Silicon Foundation, is run by my wife. And this is what we do there. We bring in the students there, we educate them. At the same time, we also give them entrepreneurial skills. Then many of them now go out and run their own businesses. And we also help them to set up the businesses.
Yes.
So, yeah, this is the place we mentor.
That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. Have you been back to Uhuru Park just to relieve those?
I went there.
Oh, you did?
Not recently, but yeah.
But when life became better, did you ever walk back?
I went there.
Yeah? And what was the feeling like?
Amazing. See,
amazing.
There is a church there. And now, so in the afternoon, either you sit under the tree, if you want to rest a bit, then you go to the church and used to sit. I used to sit there. So I even went into that church. I went into those trees where I'm sitting, and it was a nice feeling that this is where it all started.
Yes. So you remembered.
Yeah,
so you have a lot to be grateful for.
Oh yes, oh yes. I am actually thankful to so many people, so many things that has happened around me.
Yeah.
And I can only say thank you to them.
Yeah. You have mentors, people you look up to?
I mean, there are so many people I like what they do and the passion that they have. So for me, there's a person who is very passionate.
Yes.
I actually just love them. So things like like James Mangi, for example. I just love what he do because he's so passionate. Even like when Bob Collymore was there, he was so passionate about it. So these are some of the people. I don't meet them or I don't go and see them and says, okay, give me some advice. So it's not on one-on-one, but you just secretly you admire them.
Yes, I understand that. Well, I'm glad we made the connection today.
Thank you.
And thank you for coming to our show to share your story.
Thank you very, very much.
Your Royal Highness.
Oh boy.
we are grateful to have had a member of the royal family in one city in India. I forget the name, it starts with J. But thank you for coming.
I appreciate. Thank you.
And thank you for watching as well. We hope you've been inspired. Should you have any questions for Kamal, just shoot them to us and we shall forward that to him. And the show goes up on YouTube just after this, and I repeat on Tuesday at 10 p.m. Until next week, God bless you.
Karibuni Tamarind Tree Hotel. Tamarind Tree Hotel is part of the larger Tamarind group of hotels and restaurants, including the world-famous Carnival restaurant. In the hotel, we have 160 rooms. The beauty about our rooms is the space. Our rooms are the most spacious in Nairobi. You will not find room like you find in Tamarind Tree Hotel, which we have all categories, starting from the smallest, the basic room, which is a standard room. We have superior suites, superior rooms, executive suites. We have family rooms. We have a presidential suite, which can take care of the most dignitaries you want to have. When you're sleeping with us, staying with us, we give you early check-in as early as 10 in the morning, and the following day we'll give you a late checkout at 6 p.m. So it's really 2 days, 1 night. We have a heated swimming pool. We allow you to use a swimming pool. We have a gym. We have spa. So when you are here, you will not get bored. Karibuni Tamarind Tree Hotel.